Okay. Let's do a quick check. All right, so let's tilt it down a little bit. Good. Yeah. Okay, so good morning. Today is what? What's the date?
Today is the 25th of Wednesday, 2017.
Okay, October 25th, 2017. And it's probably going to be 85 degrees here in Las Vegas today. It was pretty nice this morning. I'm not bringing a jacket in yet. So today we're going to be talking about Jill Bolte Taylor. TED Talk Jill Bolte Taylor. And so the current stats on that are, it was recorded when?
2008.
February 2008, so that's about 10 years old. About 10 years ago she did this. I'm sure if she was talking about it today with the benefits of new technology, she would go into even more detail on the brain. And there were 413 views, including us. So what does that tell us? What can we infer from that? The number of views.
A lot of people looked at it.
A lot of people looked at it. So this is one of the top 10 viewed TED Talks. So people like it. Now we're going to talk about the two questions we ask after every TED Talk. And then we're going to break down, we're going to go through what she talked about and see what her purpose was and what our purpose was. So, Brandon, what's the first question?
She was a good instructor.
Was she a good what?
She was a good instructor.
Presenter. Was she a good presenter? And your answer is? Yes, because?
Just because she made me feel pretty emotional with what she was speaking about.
Okay, good. So that's a good form of the answer. Yes, because she made me feel emotional. Okay, so did you notice when she started tearing up?
Yes.
Okay, when was that?
Towards that last end when she thought she was gonna pass her spirit down and
go transition. So die. Now note, she wasn't talking about she's going to go to heaven or hell or there's going to be something after that. It's kind of like she implied what? When she felt the last run. No, that's when she woke up. When she was,
the last breath of air.
Yeah, that she surrendered and what? What do you think she thought?
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. And then she said what? When she woke up?
Now the pain.
I was surprised. I was surprised to find I was alive. Okay, so Jamie, good presenter?
Yes, I feel she was authentic.
Okay.
Because she lived what she was talking about.
Okay, but that's kind of more of your thinking part. What are the feelings that you experienced?
She kind of made me feel like me because I was dead for like an hour in my life.
Okay.
So it's like,
okay, so you could kind of relate.
Yeah, I do relate to it.
Okay, so you kind of had a bond.
Yeah.
Like you guys share something. Okay, great. How about you, good presenter?
Yes, he's a good presenter because it related to me, but I just didn't go through a lot of suffering and pain, but it related to me as far as in my life, my behavior.
Okay, well, what did you feel?
I felt
while you were watching it? Sad, happy, scared?
Emotional.
Okay. So emotional in terms of?
I was grieving.
Okay, good. So those are emotions. And Grant, good presenter?
Yeah, she was a good presenter because she made me feel concerned for her situation. So
Concern for her, okay. So you felt empathy for her?
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Because I heard you laughing.
Well, some of the things she said, like,
Okay,
she still had an upbeat spirit regardless of what she went through. She was still,
okay. So when she was
still
talking
manifesting the
about
situation.
sounding like a dog,
Yeah.
okay. So again, we're just, for purposes here, people who are good presenters make us feel things. That's why a lot of people are taught when you go up and do public speaking, the first thing to do is tell a joke. What happens when you tell a joke, if it works?
Starts to laugh and get happy.
People feel happy, right? It makes them feel something, as opposed to just sitting there trying to get their attention and they're mind wandering. They're thinking about something else. So here, our definition of somebody who's a good presenter is somebody who makes us feel things. Now, we need to get in touch with our feelings because they kind of go to our non-conscious brain. We're not really even aware. In fact, when I said, what feelings did you experience? You didn't talk about laughing. You're the only person here I heard chuckling. I thought for sure when you were going to describe your feelings, you were going to talk about you thought some part of it was humorous. Okay, how did you feel when she pulled the brain out and did this?
I felt normal.
Okay, how did the audience feel when she said, I have a human brain?
Ooh.
Right, right, remember that? Okay, how did you feel when she pulled the brain out and did that?
I like it. I want to
Is
see
it cool?
Yeah.
Okay, how about you?
It was interesting. It was,
Okay, so do you know that that's what our brains are? That brain wasn't cut in half. Did you know that?
You got two sides, left, right.
And they are separate. So if you took your brain out of your head and you held it in your hand, it would go like that. Not one solid thing. There's two separate halves. And what keeps them together?
Spinal cord.
No, what does she call
The corpus.
it? Okay, corpus callosum. And what is that made up of? 300 million, what? 300 million neurons, what? 300 million axonal fibers,
Yeah, 300 million pound fiber, yeah.
okay? So those are just fibers that connect this side to that side. How did she say the brain works? What was her description? What goes into the right hemisphere?
Picture, smell.
Okay. So all of the things from our senses. So what she was describing is this huge collage of stuff from everything that our nerves feel. We hear, we smell, we see, we taste, we touch. All of that stuff is coming into the right side of our brain. It's this huge collage. And then what happens? What did she say happens next? This is where we're all one. All of the stuff from our senses is going into the right side of our brain. Huh?
The hemisphere.
Okay, the left side does what?
Thinks in language.
Okay, but what does it do with this? All of this stuff coming in from our senses.
That command is one with it.
Okay, so what does it do? So all of this stuff comes in from all of our senses. It goes to the right side of our hemisphere. It's this huge collage. There's no language. It's just sight, sound, smells, touch, feelings, etc. And then the left side makes sense of it. Okay, it's light in here. It's kind of cold. It's kind of warm. And it picks out details. What did she say? Picks out details and details of those details and more details of those details. What else did she say? It categorizes them, organizes them.
Gives language attention to external and to.
It takes all of this stuff that's coming into our right side, it categorizes it, organizes it, and associates it with our what? Our past.
Yeah, to the future.
Okay, our past, and projects it into the future, right?
The little voice that says, I am, I am.
Okay, and then it turns into, from being, I'm part of this energy flow, because that's what our right side perceives as there's all of this energy in the form of sight, sound, smells, touch, etc. That's how our brain works. Remember, with these neurons, it's electrical signals going back and forth from our neurons. We don't have little eyeballs inside of our neurons. They can't see. Sight, vision, images are turned into electrical impulses. So our right side collects all of this information that's coming in from our things up through our spinal cord and through our brain stem, and all of this goes into the right side, then it crosses through the corpus callosum, and our left side makes sense of it. That's what's going on in our brain. Now, what's the second question? Great, second question.
Was she persuasive?
Was she persuasive? Good, was she?
Yes,
What's one thing you learned?
because she persuaded me to control my temper.
She persuaded you to control your temper? How did she do that? Because she wasn't even talking about that.
But she told me more. I learned a little bit about the side of my brain. When she had problems, when she went into her little mood, she wasn't too happy at sometimes when she was going through things. She didn't want to be bothered, she didn't want to be around, she didn't want to hear nothing, and everything just shut down.
Okay, now when was that? When did she say that occurred?
Just before your stroke, was it?
No, that's as soon as she woke up.
That's when, okay.
As soon as she woke up, what did she experience? First, what did she experience? The light was what? Like fire, right?
Like fire.
Yeah.
And the sounds were what?
Loud.
Yeah, that her senses were not back to being calibrated right initially. It was very painful being alive. But then what happened?
She started coming back to her natural self.
And she described it as what? Nirvana, right? She was in nirvana. And she felt that she was this huge, massive thing. And then she didn't think that that would fit back into her little tiny body. Okay, so was she persuasive?
Yes.
Okay, what's one thing you learned?
Learned that how both parts of the brain work.
Okay, so the left side and the right side are different. Okay, Jeff, how about you? Is she persuasive?
Yeah,
Okay, what's one thing you learned?
the 300 million axonal fibers.
Okay,
But I didn't really know the brain was like separated just like that. I thought, there was more something kind of held it together, but I didn't know.
other than the fibers.
Yeah.
You notice when she did that, it didn't go like this. She wasn't like, here's the right side, here's the left side. She was just like, boom, right? It was connected. Okay. Jamie, good persuasive?
Yes, and I learned that both sides of the brain is opposites and both of them are pairs, so she's precise.
Okay, so they do different things, right? How about you, Brandon?
Although she was very persuasive because
Okay.
like I said, I get to learn about how the brain is structured and how your memories and your taste in sight and numbers are from different sides from your left to your right brain.
Okay,
So
okay, good. So, what we're trying to drive at is, I am my connectome. I am the sum of my, what? Thoughts, feelings, emotions. Okay, I'm a sum of that, of my memories. That's what I am. So she just had a golf ball sized part of her brain. They removed a blood clot the size of a golf ball. So now let's talk about what actually happened that morning. What happened to her?
she was in la la land.
Okay, well, what happened? What's the actual thing that happened to her? She
Well,
got up, she had a headache because of what?
She had brain hemorrhage.
Okay, what is that?
The blood vessel popped.
Okay, she had a stroke. blood vessel broke in her brain, and what happened?
Couldn't talk, couldn't
Now, well, what happened when the blood vessel broke in her brain? Now, what happened when the blood vessel broke in her brain?
Bleed.
Blood went into her skull, right? Now, what's the problem with that? What happens if you get a knock on the arm and you get a bruise? What's the bruise caused by?
Blood vessels racing to the surface and shit.
Blood vessels breaking. So the color of a bruise is from what? Why does it turn purple? What causes it to be purple?
Broken up the blood vessels.
Yeah, that's blood. And so if you do that, what happens to your arm besides turning purple?
Start expanding.
Yeah, it gets swollen, right? It gets swollen. Because blood is what? It's not flowing through the blood vessels, it's leaking out, and it's making your arm swollen. Okay, what happens if you have a blood vessel break in your brain? Is your skull going to get swollen?
No.
Your brain.
Huh?
Your brain going to start swelling.
Well, let's think about it. How would your brain swell? So you have a blood vessel going into your brain, starts leaking. So you now have blood flowing out between your brain and your skull. Okay, so picture that. Your blood flowing into your brain, blood is leaking into your skull, between your brain and your skull. What's going to happen?
It'll not. So it'll start swelling.
How's it going to swell?
Blood vessels going to start
See,
expanding.
your arm swells because your skin is not broken, right? It's not like you got a puncture and blood is flowing out. Blood is flowing inside, so what's it doing with your skin?
It's pushing it up.
Pushing it up, okay. Your arm is swelling, okay? Now, imagine you have a broken blood vessel, say it's a garden hose, and it's leaking water onto the sidewalk or onto whatever. What's going to happen?
It's a contraction.
Hmm?
What is a contraction? There's no contraction. That has to do with it.
Contraction?
In the brain.
Well, what's going to happen is it's not going to make your brain swell because it's not making your brain bigger. It's between your brain and your skull. So it's going to be pushing on your skull, right?
Right.
Okay, that's what it's going to be doing. It's not going to be making your brain this way. It's going to be putting more fluid inside of your skull, and that's going to be what? Pushing on what?
Brain.
Your brain. Now, what happens to your neurons, do you think, if they're getting pushed on?
It'll push back.
Okay, what's the second thought? What's going to happen to your neurons? Picture your neurons, picture this thin, soft, mushy coating of your brain. And you now have blood flowing in there and it can't get out. So it's going to do what? It's pushing on your neurons, right? So what's going to happen to those trees? Picture the tree yesterday that Sebastian saw. Huh? Well, sort of, but what's it going to do? Crush them, right? Are they going to be able to work if they're crushed? No. That's what happened. That's why when people have a stroke, they have problems, is because their neurons get crushed, and then eventually they just die because they don't get any circulation, the electrical current, they're shorted out. They don't work. And so, how long after that did she say she had, they took a golf ball sized blood clot out of her brain?
8 years or so.
No, when did they take the blood clot out?
About 3 months.
2.5 weeks later.
Yeah.
2.5 weeks later, they took the blood clot, they opened up her skull, and they removed this blood clot the size of a golf ball. So what did that do to the neurons that were around that golf ball,
Crushing.
crushed them. So did they work?
No, that's.
Okay, now what did she say happened to her? What was the result to her when she had the stroke?
Right arm. Right arm she could use.
No, after when she woke up.
She had to learn how to do everything over.
Yeah, she said, I was like an infant in a woman's body. She couldn't walk, talk. What else did she say?
Read.
Walk, talk, read, write. She was an infant in a woman's body because those neurons got crushed. Now remember, yesterday he drew, not drew, but he had anybody remember when he put that on the board? On the board on the talk yesterday? And he said, what happens? They get all scrambled up, right? Okay. Now, let's say that, there's hundreds of millions of neurons that golf ball squeezed on, or part of it. Let's say these neurons right there get destroyed. Does this whole sequence work? No. So she had a golf ball size blood clot in her brain that destroyed neurons. But what about these other neurons? What happened to them?
Damaged too.
Huh? They're not damaged,
They're trying to function.
but they're not connected to anything. She can't talk because these part of language or whatever was destroyed. So the stuff that had to do with it got destroyed. So one thing about the brain is it's plastic. What does that mean?
It fluctuates.
Yeah, it's bendable. It's not rigid. It's adaptable. So what happened to her over the next 8.5 years?
You have to learn how to adapt back to it.
Yeah, so what she had to do, she don't grow new neurons. So what she had to do is have basically rewire these to go like that. She had to rewire her brain. She had to relearn so that she could connect the stuff that she knew, but she didn't know she knew it, to other parts. And then once she relearned something, she was back. That's why it didn't take her 37 years. She didn't really have to start from scratch. It only took 8 years because what she had to do was build new neural connections. So Sebastian Song talked about the stream bed and the stream. Okay, what was the stream bed? Okay, what was the stream bed?
Millions of
water. Just like the flow of.
Well, there's the water in the stream,
Okay.
and there's the stream bed. What was the stream bed?
The neural
connected.
Okay, neural activity is what? What did he say the neural activity
It's like
is?
a water, like water in a stream.
Okay, the neural activity, right, good. So the neural activity is the water in the stream. What was the stream bed? So write this down if you don't have it in your Simon Sebastian thing. So if you have a stream bed, right? And you have water, right? Water equals neural activity. And the stream bed is what? It's the connectome. Okay? Stream bed is the connectome. That's the 86 billion times 10,000 connections is the stream bed. The neural activity is the stuff that we're doing. Now, what did he say? The stream bed controls what? The flow of what? Of water. Stream bed, right? What's a stream bed do? It determines where the water goes, right? Water stays in the bed of the stream. What did he say happens over time to the stream bed?
It starts to change,
Exactly.
change the way it flows or the
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah. Over time, the water in the stream changes the course of changes the stream bed.
Basically, just a mere act of thinking can change, right?
The mere act of thinking, right, can change your connectome. And it actually changes 19% every 100 days. Okay, 19% every 100 days. So, with Jill Bolte, imagine that this part of the stream, of one of the streams, had this big boulder, also known as what? A blood clot, okay, in there. This part under the boulder is totally wiped out, right? Let's say there was a fish under there, or there was something living under there. What happens when boulder comes crashing down into the stream?
Crashing.
Anything that's under the boulder is gone, right? Okay, now though, what happens? What happens to the stream bed?
The dam being clogged up.
Huh?
Like the dam being clogged up.
Okay, until what?
So you remove what's in it.
Well, or,
You learn how to rewire.
so let's say this is a
around
side
it.
view. Here's the bottom. Here's the top, right? Here's the stream bed. Now all of a sudden, let's say this big boulder comes in there. Right? Now what happens to the water? It's going to start going up, right?
So if I went around
And it could get to the point where it just goes over the top. Could do that. Or you're right, it could go around it. And so when she had to relearn, just picture it like there's this boulder in the middle of the stream, not going to get the boulder out, or when they took the boulder out, everything that was there is gone. Those neurons are gone. They're not coming back. So she had to rewire, what's called rewire her brain. She had to relearn. So why is that good news for people here who might have an alcohol or drug problem?
To rewire your brain.
Yeah. Yeah. Can rewire your brain. Now here's an interesting fact. All of the cells in our body, not all the neurons, but all of the cells in our bodies are replaced every 7 years. 7 years from now, other than in your neurons, every cell in your body will have been changed. So 1/7 of them will change this year. 365 of those that are going to be in 1 year are going to get changed today. And 1/24 of that number is going to get changed in the next 24 hours. And you can break it down that cells are always being replaced by new cells. So 7 years from now, you won't have one cell in your body. None of us will have one cell in our body that's the same. That's why one of the reasons we start looking older, we age, because these cells are making copies of copies. So think about it. I have the best copy machine in the world. I take this page here, I take this sheet here, I put it on the best copy machine in the world. How's it going to look? The copy. How's the copy going to look?
Good.
Almost the same. It's going to be hard to know, right? Now let's say I take the copy and I make a copy of that. How is that copy going to look compared to the original? A little bit now, I take that copy and I do the copy of the copy, compare it. How's that going to look?
Starts to get like more blurred.
Okay, now let's say I take the 7th copy of the copy and compare it to the original. How's it going to look? Is it going to look like, it's not going to look the same at all. That's kind of what happens to our bodies, is our cells are making copies of themselves, and the copies are not as good as the original. That's one of the problems when you get a sunburn, or you could get cancer, is when you have a sunburn, what's happening to the cells in your skin?
You're dead.
Damaged, right?
Mhm.
Well, what happens if that cell was scheduled to reproduce itself that day?
Burn.
It's going to make a copy of a defective cell. And if that cell is copied when it's in the growth part, in other words, it doesn't know what to turn off, that's what cancer is. Cancer is unregulated cell growth. Cells just keep growing, growing, growing. It's not a harm, it's not an evil thing, but it could be very dangerous and very bad, because cells are supposed to grow, divide, one side dies off and the other side becomes the cell. And then over a period of time it grows, cuts in half, one side dies. Well, let's say you're making a copy of a cell that was damaged, and it didn't have the part that was damaged is the part that says shut off, stop growing when this happens. What's going to happen if that cell is, a copy is made of that cell? Where it says, don't stop growing. The copy is not going to know to turn itself off, to stop growing. And so that's just a very simplistic thing what happens. But for our purposes, what happened to her was she got a blood clot, neurons were damaged, but the brain is plastic, so she can relearn. And one of the good things for us is we can keep learning. Now, does anybody remember the Navy SEALs? Let's see, you weren't in here for that. You were, right? Did you remember part of the Navy SEAL creed of learning? So never stop learning. Okay, so a good habit here for your brain is to always be learning. Don't have an attitude of, nah, I'm happy with the way I am. I'm happy, because your brain is going to be forgetting stuff, right? Every day. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So if you're not actively learning, your brain isn't going to function well. Okay, so we agreed she's a good presenter, right? And she was persuasive. What was she trying to persuade us of?
Her story.
Okay. So one of the things when you're trying to figure out what were they trying to persuade us of is look at the title. So what's the title of her talk?
My stroke of insight.
My stroke of insight. So what was her stroke of insight?
To tell us that once you went into it and came out of it.
Okay, what was her stroke of insight?
Experience.
What was her stroke of insight?
Literally her stroke.
What was the insight part?
She got experience because she was a brain surgeon.
Okay. What was her?
Experience
What was her
from the
insight?
inside out. Look at the brain from the inside out. She got
Well,
study.
her stroke of insight was, hey, we should be able to step into the right side of our brains, because what if we do? What if everybody stepped into the right side of their brain? What did she say?
It'd be like peaceful.
All the anxieties are up.
So her stroke of insight was, we have the power to choose moment by moment who and how we want to be in the world. Right here, right now, I can step into the consciousness of my right hemisphere, where we are. I am the life force power of the universe. I am the life force power of 50 trillion beautiful molecular geniuses. What is that? What is she talking about? What are the 50 trillion molecular geniuses? The cells in our body. That's what she's talking about. These little molecular geniuses that make up my form. She's talking about the cells in her body. at one with all that is. Or I could choose to step into the consciousness of my left hemisphere, where I become a single individual, a solid, separate from the flow, separate from you, and I am Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, intellectual neurodynamics. These are the we inside of me. Which do you choose? Which would you choose? Which do you choose, and when? I believe that the more time we spend choosing to run the deep inner peace circuitry of our right hemispheres, the more peace we'll project into the world, and the more peaceful our planet will be. And I thought that was an idea worth spreading. So what she's trying to do is say to people, what? What did I just say? What's wrong with you guys today?
We all off this morning, huh? I said, we all off this morning, huh?
Yeah. Okay, she said, we can choose to step into the right side where we're all connected. We're all one happy family. Or I can choose to be me. And she said, I believe the more time we spend choosing to run the deep inner peace circuitry of our right hemisphere, the more peace we'll project in the world, the more peaceful our planet will be. What is she saying to do? What is she saying to do?
Tap into that.
Exactly. Tap into the right hemisphere where we're all see that we're all connected. I'm not separate from you. You're not separate from me. We're all one. And if we all do that, we all see we're connected, the world's going to be better. Right? That's what she just said. What's the problem with that?
Everybody can do that.
She didn't tell you how to do it. I think she says we can do it. We have the power to choose, moment by moment. She said we can, but did she say how?
No.
Well, there's one way.
Well, yeah, but
You get a stroke in the left side of your brain.
And loses the nerve.
who's the fucking volunteer for that?
Not really. She didn't say how to do it. That's a big problem for her thing. We're not watching this for that purpose. We're not watching it to say, oh, cool, there's the right side and we're all one, and there's the left side and I'm me. That's not why we're watching it. We're watching it to ask the question, am I really my connectome? And what we saw is when she got brain damage, what happened to who she was? She was gone like that. In a 4-hour period, she said she saw her what? In a 4-hour period, she went from being a brain scientist to an infant in a woman's body. Therefore, it must be the connectome. And then the good news part that we want to take from this is the good news is the brain is plastic, so we can rebuild it. Now, what we're going to get in week number 3 is Amy Green?
Cuddy.
No, not Amy. What's her name? Green. Carrie Green.
Carrier.
Carrie Green is going to tell us how we can program our mind for success. So this would be taking our connectome and changing the flow of our neural activity to become successful. Because what she points out in her life was that her thoughts were filled with all negative stuff of why I can't succeed, why the world is against me, why everything is fucked. Okay, and she observed in her brain that that's what she spent her time thinking about. All negative stuff, and negative stuff was happening. So she decided, I can change my outcome, or for our purposes, I can change how I am by changing my connectome, by changing my neural activity. And the first step is what? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Okay? Do you want to be a homeless guy? Do you want to be a drug addict? What do you want to be? This again comes back to why I say I think it's not a good idea to label yourself as a drug addict. I think it's better to say, I just don't need drugs. Who do you want to be? Then you have to ask the second question, which is what?
Why do I behave the ideal?
No. Her second question is what? Why? Why do I want to be that? And if you don't have a reason why you want to be that, then you're not going to do what you need to do to become that. Okay, so who would you want to be?
A businessman?
Okay, like back to
Actually,
Office Depot?
no, but
Not an employee. Run your own business?
no, work with somebody. It would be nice to own my own business, but
Okay.
work with somebody to
Okay.
get my skills back.
So that's the first question. Now, the second question she asked you have to figure out is why? Why do you want to be that?
Because I want to change my views of life.
Well,
I want to change
okay, that's kind of
who
a
I used
circular
to be.
thing. But why do you want to be that?
Because it's time to grow up, and man up.
Okay. Okay, that would be why you want to change. But the question is, why do you want to be a business guy? Because you could do a lot of things to man up to grow up, right?
But
Okay, why do you want to be a business guy to do
to
that?
provide for my family.
Okay, all right. Provide both financially and also have them feel good and feel proud about it, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So then she says the third question is, well, who do you need to become to do that?
Gotta become you.
Huh?
Become you.
Become me?
No, not you.
Who do you
not
need to
you.
become? You
But the
can't
life
become
of
you
the
because,
power of life in the universe.
no. Okay, good, I'm glad you said that, no. So if you want to be a business guy, what do you need to become to be a businessman? Okay, what does that mean? What's business about? So in one word, what is business about?
Business.
No, you can't use the word in its own definition. What is business about?
Money?
Money. That's what business is about, money, right? Money. Business is about money. So what is money? How is money expressed? If I'm going to write some sum of money, some amount of money on the board, what is it going to be?
Big.
Profit.
Oh, numbers, right? Okay, numbers. If I want to be a business guy, I need to understand numbers. What else do I need to know?
People?
Okay, in what context?
Drives them, motivates.
Sales, right? Because you don't have a business, there's no money if nobody's buying something, right? So you have to sell. Do you like selling?
Yeah, I do.
Good, so that's a good
Good
attitude. Do you like
communication.
selling, Greg?
Yes, I would love to.
Do you like selling though?
Yeah.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so a lot of guys say, no, I hate selling. I hate selling. Okay, but we're always selling ourselves. So you got to ask the third question is, who do you need to become to be a business guy? And I tell you, if you don't know numbers, you're not going to be a business guy. Because people are going to be talking about numbers, and what are you going to be thinking?
Making a sale.
Huh?
Making a sale.
No.
No,
People
numbers.
around you are talking about numbers. What's going on in your brain when they're talking about numbers?
Numbers.
Huh?
You ain't wondering?
Yeah, what the fuck are they talking about? I don't even understand
You don't
this.
know numbers, how you gonna talk?
And then how are you going to feel if you don't understand what the people around you are talking about? Good or not good?
Okay.
Not good. Okay. So Carrie Green says, so the third thing is you got to ask yourself, who do I need to become in order to be what I want to be? So if you want to be a business guy, one thing you need is numbers. Once you do that, now you can program your mind for success. But you have to know those three things. What do I want to be? Why do I want to be that? Who do I need to become in order to be who I want to be? Now you can program your mind for success. What's the first thing?
Numbers.
So anybody who thinks marijuana is okay, just bracket on Jeff. Because it takes away the ability to gain new knowledge. Jeff knows a lot about this stuff, so Jeff's my go-to guy for a lot of stuff that happened in the past that he learned before. Getting new knowledge in is not easy. And that's a documented issue with some parts of marijuana and THC, etc. But anyway, so the first thing you have to do is examine your thoughts. And you have to replace any negative thoughts with what?
Positive.
Empowering thoughts. Empowering thoughts. Because if you tell yourself, I can't do this, what does your brain believe?
Shuts down and one.
Your brain believes it. Takes it as true. So you got to replace all negative thoughts with empowering thoughts. And then you have to do what?
Positive affirmation.
Affirmations and
In the third person.
visualization. You have to see yourself as a successful business guy. And if you see that, what is your brain going to think? Is your brain going to say, no, that's not true?
Your brain's gonna think you could do it.
Yeah, but you have to be able to become the person it is. You can't be a business guy just by thinking, oh, I'm the successful business guy. Because when you get into business and there's people around you saying, what do we do now? If you don't know what to do, what's going to happen?
Business will fail.
Yeah, it's going to fail. But that's how simple it really is. It's just that's how simple this stuff is. And if you believe it, if you have these beliefs, then your brain is going to direct you towards those things. And you're going to release proper neurotransmitters. But if you don't know numbers, when you get in a number situation, what's going to be released? Yeah. Cortisol is going to be released. When you get up here to do your poetry, who's doing it today? Are you? Are you? You kind of had it yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When you get up here, there's at least a 50% chance your mind is going to go blank. Why? Why do you think your brain goes blank? But on a, bring it down to the level of what's actually going on in your brain with your neurotransmitters.
Your adrenaline's going, cortisol.
Okay, so your synapses, right, are spitting out something. What happens when your mind goes blank? You know this pattern because you memorized it in the mod. You walk up here, and all of a sudden you can't remember it. Okay, so kind of what's happening is you're getting a little shot of cortisol that clouds your brain. So you can't activate that sequence of neurons firing. You've got a little shot of cortisol. That's what happens when you can't remember it. Because you know you remember it, right? What happened with you yesterday? When you were up here doing it, right? Because my hunch is you wouldn't have come up here to do Jabberwocky if virtually every line I had to give you a little hint, right? Right?
Like, that was a hard one because most of them are made up words.
Okay, but you got to picture the story of what's going on. Okay, so just to wrap this up, and then I think what we'll do is have people come up and do their thing. So to wrap this up, the takeaway is I am my connectome. We watched this one to prove it is our connectome, because if you destroy the connectome, what happened?
You damage it.
Yeah, you can't do shit. You can't do whatever was on that side. So that means it must be the connectome. That's the number one thing. I am my connectome. And the side benefit for people here should be, the good news is I can rewire my brain. I can learn this stuff over again. I don't have to say, oh shit, I really fucked up my brain and there's nothing I can do about it. But it takes time. And it takes a commitment to be doing what you want to do, because, you know, when the boulder comes crashing down in the stream, now you got to decide how you're going to redirect the neural activity. You could say, well, you know, I just can't do that. Let's say you have an alcohol or drug problem. A different type of boulder came crashing down into the stream. What it did is it burnt out your synapses. There was an overproduction of some neurotransmitter, and the synapses just got burned out. You could take the approach of, well, fuck it. I'm that dumb shit now. I fried my brain. I took too many drugs. I took too much alcohol. I did whatever. I fried my brain. This is now who I am. Or you can say, wait a second. I have already learned my brain can rewire itself, but it takes what? What does it take to rewire itself?
Practice.
Practice and what?
Time.
Time. Took her 8 years to do it. But she's back better because of her experience, right? Okay, so those are the two takeaways. We use this to prove it is the connectome because if the connectome gets damaged, your ability to act as a human is affected. And she went in a period of 4 hours from being a brain scientist at Harvard to a little kid. Okay? And then it took her 8.5 years to come back. But she did. So that means don't give up hope. But you have to work at it. That's the second part, is the brain will rewire itself. Okay, so who wants to go first?
I guess I will.
Okay, so it's power posing. You guys don't know what that means, but that's a power pose. So what's happening when he's power posing?
He's building on confidence.
Yeah. Okay, so who wants, do you want to do the,
Oh, yeah.
okay, so I will say, quiet on the set. Now you look over at him.
3, 2,
Wait, hold it. So it's 3, 2. You don't say 1.
I didn't say.
No, but then you went 3, 2. So 3, 2. And what you do first is take a breath. When he points at you, when he points at you, that's when you take a breath.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2.
So much depends on the red wheelbarrow.
Cut upon. So you have to get these two exactly perfectly.
Okay.
Okay? Go for it.
So much depends upon the red wheelbarrow.
Cut a red wheelbarrow. Okay, keep going.
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow placed with rainwater beside the white chicken.
Good job. Okay. Am I the only guy? Okay. All right. And action.
3, 2, 1.
Cut.
3, 2.
I've never seen a purple cow.
Cut.
So,
Soft.
I never saw a purple cow. I never hope to see one. But I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see them be one.
Good job. All right. Here's your book. So Jeff can tell you which ones you do next.
I did memorize, I think it's the third one.
You want to go do it?
I'll try it.
Okay. Get them out of the way. What is the third one?
Beautiful one.
Okay. Action.
3, 2.
Beautiful faces are they that wear the light of a spirit, pleasant there,
Pleasant spirit there.
pleasant spirit there. Beautiful hands are they that do deeds noble, good, and true.
Okay, that are noble, good, and true. Okay.
Beautiful feet are they that go swiftly to lighten another's woe.
Okay, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Okay. Ready, Jamie?
put me on the spot. All right.
Now, did you feel any cortisol, any nervousness?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, which one are you gonna start with?
Purple guy.
Okay. Jeff, are you ready? Action.
3, 2.
I never saw a purple cow. I never hoped to see one, but I can tell you anyhow, I never hoped to be one.
Nope, close.
I never saw
I can
a
tell you
purple cow.
anyhow, I'd rather see.
I never saw a purple cow.
I never hope to see
I
one.
never hoped to see one, but I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see than be one.
Good, okay, I'll do it from the top.
I never saw a purple cow. I never hoped to see one, but I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see than be one.
Good job, all right.
So much
Cut.
depends.
Cut, action,
3, 2,
So much depends on the red wheelbarrow.
cut, upon,
So much
depends upon.
depends upon the red wheelbarrow, glazing with rainwater.
Just start from the top.
Standing with white chicken.
Start from the top.
So much depends on the red wheelbarrow.
Cut,
So much depends upon the red wheelbarrow, glazing with rainwater, beside white chickens.
close, beside the white
Oh,
chicken.
beside white.
Okay,
So much depends on rain.
cut.
So much depends upon the rain.
Rain.
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazing with rainwater, standing
Cut,
upon.
beside the white chicken. So let's just read it one time.
So much depends.
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow,
A red wheelbarrow,
glazed with
with
rainwater,
rainwater,
beside
standing beside or
No,
just
just
beside?
beside.
Oh, beside white chickens.
the white chicken.
Beside the white chickens.
Yeah,
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazing with rainwater, standing beside. Oh, beside, just besides, no standing.
correct.
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazing with rainwater, standing with red chicken.
Beside. Beside.
All right, check on the 1, 3, 2, 1. I got you.
Okay. Action,
3, 2,
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazing with rainwater, standing beside.
It's
just beside.
Just beside.
There's no
beside white
standing.
chickens.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no standing.
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazing with rainwater, besides white chickens.
Okay, almost.
besides the,
Besides the white chicken.
Beside,
Oh, beside the white chickens.
beside the
Standing beside.
white chickens.
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazed with rainwater, beside the white chickens.
Good, perfect, there you go. Good job. Okay. You want to try it?
Yes.
Okay. You take your book out.
You sure?
Yeah,
I don't
don't
need
look at it when
No, I
you're,
don't need it.
okay. You gonna do both?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Um,
Action,
3, 2,
I never saw a purple cow. I'd rather not see one.
cut. Okay, so I never saw a purple cow.
I never saw a purple
I
cow.
never hope to see one,
I never hope to see one.
but I can tell you
But I can tell you, anyhow, I'd rather not be one.
I'd rather see.
See than be one.
Okay, so let's try it from the top.
3, 2,
Purple cow.
Okay, cut. So what I want you to do is take a breath.
I'm gonna take my book.
Okay.
And go
So what you gotta do is take a breath.
All right, can I start with the bottom? So much depends upon the red wheelbarrow.
You want to start with that one? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, action, but don't look at the book. Do you want to read, do you want to look at it one time before you start? I never, oh, so much. Okay, action,
3, 2,
So much depends on the red wheelbarrow.
cut, upon,
Okay. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with white water,
cut, rainwater.
glazed with white water. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed upon water,
Glazed with rainwater.
glazed with rainwater, beside the white chicken.
Okay, so you've got it now, so right? So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, so you can picture that, right? Glazed with rainwater, and now beside white chicken. Okay, action.
3, 2,
So much depends upon,
You had it.
so much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with white rainwater besides white chicken.
Okay, good. Now, but you had a little blip in there,
Right.
but you got it. There's no white in
no white, rainwater. 3,
it. Action.
3, 2,
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside white chickens.
Almost.
Besides the white
The
chicken.
white chickens. Okay, good. But you had it. You got it. You got this one. Okay, action.
3, 2,
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater besides the white chickens.
I heard it besides.
No, beside the white chickens.
Okay, let's just do it one more time since you have it. Action.
3, 2, 1.
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens.
Good job. All right. Okay,
And
action.
3, 2,
I never saw a purple cow. I never,
I never
hope to see one, but I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see than be one.
Okay, I think you almost had it. You might have had it, but it was just a little choppy. Okay, nailed it.
2,
Purple cow. I never saw a purple cow. I never hope to see one, but I can tell you
Are you
anyhow.
reading it?
I won't lie, yes. All right,
Okay, close the book.
all right. Bye.
You don't want to get the book by cheating.
All right.
Action.
3, 2,
Purple cow. I rather I never want to see one.
No,
I never.
start from the top. I never saw.
I never saw a purple cow. I never want to see one.
Hope to see.
I never hope to see one.
But,
Yeah, I'm all
okay.
Try
Take a
Robert.
breath.
sorry.
I never
I never
saw a purple cow. I never hope to see one. But I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see than be one. Okay, action.
3, 2,
purple cow. I never want to see one.
Okay, to take a break for a minute.
Thing.
Hey, try
Greg,
Robert.
you wanna try it?
Robert. I never saw a purple cow, never heard to see one. I can tell you now, I'd rather be than see one.
I'd rather see.
I'd rather see than be one. You had it the first time, so.
Let's do it again there.
Okay, are you ready, Greg? Which one are you gonna do first? Purple cow, action.
3, 2,
I never saw a purple cow. I hope to never see one.
Cut. I never hope to see them.
Okay.
I never. Action.
3, 2,
I never saw a purple cow. I never hope to see one. But I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see than be one.
Good job. All right, excellent. Action.
3, 2,
Red wheelbarrow. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rain water beside a white chicken.
You say a white chicken.
The white chickens.
Yeah, that was very good. The white chickens. Action.
3, 2,
Red wheelbarrow. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens.
Good job, excellent, excellent, you nailed it. This must be your Latin.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Still a little shaky. Yeah, I missed it.
Well, you did well. Okay, let's turn off the computers because we got 5 minutes. But keep going. Go. You ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Okay, Brandon is going to hammer this one home.
Shut this one out.
I never saw
Cut. Action.
3, 2.
purple cow. I never saw a purple cow. I never want to be one.
I hope to see you.
Never hope to see one. But I never saw a purple cow. I never want to be one.
No, the first two are about seeing. I never saw a purple cow. I never hope to see one. It's just about never and seeing. Okay. Action.
3, 2.
I never saw a purple cow. I never hope to see one. And I just went blank.
Okay.
But I can tell you anyhow.
I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather not to be one.
I'd rather what?
I'd rather see than to be one.
Almost. Okay, so we got about a couple more minutes. Let's see, is it in here?
Yeah, my first page.
Okay, I want you to read it out loud. Read it out loud.
I never saw a purple cow. I never hope to see one. I can tell you
But I
anyhow,
can tell you anyhow.
but I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see than to be one. I never saw a purple cow. I never hope to see one, but I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see than to be one.
Okay, action.
3, 2.
Purple cow. I never saw a purple cow. I never once, I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay, no problem. No
I'll
problem.
rewrite it and
Okay,
I'll go over it.
okay. So that was good, everybody. Let's put the pens in here, pass it around, pass your books back. So that is an example of cortisol. Now, Greg, did you feel any cortisol?
Remember that up there? Yes, I did.
A little?
Yeah.
You did a good job. Everybody did a good job. And when 8 weeks from now, when you look back at this, you're going to feel, wow, I've really come a long way.
Okay.